Hey, it's Samantha and welcome to A Wealthy Hairstylist. And today I wanted to talk to you about how to handle an unhappy client. Oh man, we've all been there, right? I feel like anyone who has worked in any beauty profession and has had a client in their chair before has always dealt with, at one point in time in their career, someone who is not happy with your service. And the biggest thing is the fact it's not that they're not happy with their service. The biggest takeaway is how you handle this and how you handle communicating with the client when they are unhappy. Because I've had several incidences throughout my 20 years of doing hair of remedying tiny or little situations that have come up that have been easily able to be fixed or adjusted just by communication. So how you interact with your client and how you respond is huge. So the first thing first is obviously just to listen. Listen to your client and try not to feel attacked or hurt by them not being happy with what you did. You never know what is going on in their personal life or what they're coming home to or what their day was like. And maybe it could have just been how the light reflected on their hair that just set everything off like a rocket. So you just never know what somebody's going through personally. And obviously, hair and anything beauty is so personal for people. So they take a lot of it a lot more dear to the heart. So the biggest thing is to listen and have them fully explain what it is they're seeing that they are not happy with. And then the next thing that I would recommend that you would do as a professional is then explain to them, one, like, thank you for telling me that you were unhappy with this, because I, as a professional, want you to feel comfortable talking to me as your hairstylist. And I cannot fix or adjust anything unless you tell me that you're unhappy with it, because I'm just going to assume that you love your hair every time. And I think it looks nice and I love it, but you have to be the one to love your hair. It is on you. So just thank you so much for telling me. And I always want you to feel comfortable expressing to me how you feel. So that way we can always make changes down the road. And we always, I always want to keep this open and honest between the client and myself. So I can make you a happy client, and I want you to have beautiful hair and I want you to love what I do, right? So I feel as a business professional, it's, I feel in the beauty industry, a lot of hairstylists, we just love to cater to our clients, and we are in the business of making people feel good about themselves. And, if they're unhappy with that, it sets everything down. So just making the client feel heard and loved and understood is like the biggest thing, and being calm about the change. The next thing that I would recommend is obviously reviewing with the client what the next steps will be. So to achieve what you want, I am going to need to do X, Y, and Z, or it just might need to be A and B, and then we're done. So it just depends on how extensive the project is, what they need fixed. So letting them know the processes and the steps to do that. And the next thing after that is explaining to the client, because maybe they didn't understand the process. So I think the biggest thing to help a client not be upset with their hair is understanding the process of what you're trying to achieve, how you're going to get there. My biggest thing is always to, under deliver and overachieve, or what is it? No, it's, under deliver and overachieve, right? I might have to get back to you on that. Under promise and over deliver. That's what it is. Under promise and over deliver. Because granted, hair can be a mystery sometimes. You don't really know what could be going on underneath, what's been previously colored, chemically treated wise. You sometimes don't know what you're getting into. So, and hair can be a process, especially large transformations. So I think being very clear with the client about the process versus expectations and the reality. So very thoroughly explaining all three is huge to a client. And obviously, lastly, is scheduling a service. Like, they will feel better knowing that they have a future appointment on your schedule. So letting them know, hey, okay, let me take a look at my schedule. I'm going to try to get you in as soon as I can, and making them feel accommodated. That is very helpful. And then for me personally, I feel if a client is ever not happy with their service, I personally am more than happy to fix their hair, and I don't charge for it unless if a client is like, actually, no, I decided I want to be brunette. And that is very different than what we initially were working on. So, but most of the time I always will fix their hair for free. And I just reiterate with them, like, look, I'm just happy that you told me that you had any issues or you didn't like something. I'd be more than happy to fix it, because I feel leading with the goodwill and good faith is going to be tenfold return for that client to keep coming back to you. And then they're going to keep feeling comfortable and knowing they can express themselves and talk about any concerns they have with their hair, or especially if their hair is a working project, that they know that they can trust you and that you're going to take care of them. So for me personally, that is what I have always done, and it's worked out great. And I feel like obviously your time is money and your color is money. I personally never will 100% refund a client for free. It's like your time, it's your service. And a lot of times when they sit in my chair, they know it's a process to get to A to Z. So if there ever is an issue along the way, I will fix and adjust what is needed. I don't refund, but everyone runs their business differently. So obviously do what is best for you. I feel like the only time that I would probably ever really refund somebody is if I no longer want them to be my client. I think that's probably the quickest way to move on and make both parties happy, because sometimes there is a point where you have a client that just may never be happy with whatever you do. And it's not necessarily you or what you do, and it could be the stylist next to you. And that's okay. And I think that's the hard part a lot of people in the beauty industry have to acknowledge and realize that, you know what, you're not a fit for everybody, and that's okay. And there's so many other people that are so talented in what they do, and there's a perfect fit for everybody. So those are my biggest tips on how to deal with an unhappy client. So if you have any questions or anything that has helped you along the way, drop it below, because everyone is always looking for some helpful tips, right? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.